We've talked about this so many times, the fact that there is a strong link between red meat and colon cancer. 120,000 cases of colorectal cancer, 50,000 people actually die from this. But now World Health Organization is finally, officially is making it that after looking at 800 different studies, all of the ones that you mentioned, processed meat, and bacon is on the pyramid. Bacon is now called as bad as smoking. It's a real carcinogenic, and this is a huge news for a lot of people who love red meat, steak, processed meat, and you have to be just use moderation and pay attention.
Moderation.
We see that the amount of red meat that you're taking is also correlated to the risk. The more you eat, the higher risk of colorectal. 50 grams of red meat a day increases the risk.
Is this for women too?
Yes, for everybody. It increases the risk of colon cancer by 18%. So we want people to be aware of this. If you do it once in a while, Arthel, as we've always said on the show, it's not a problem. But if you do it all the time, and organic red meat, so moderation is the first message of this segment. Second thing is, if you have grass-fed meat, is much better than the conventional ones that they take soy and corn, because now less number of bacteria, less number of these antibiotics in it, and less hormones. So pay attention to that.
You know, Dr. Siegel, I mean, this is bad news for a lot of people who love to barbecue or like to go to a Brazilian churrascaria.
Yes.
And, you know, the meats are burnt, and people love burnt meats and so on and so forth. So your take on this?
Well, first of all, I think the key here, and this was, I like the direction this is going, where 22 scientists from 10 different countries come together and they look over, as David said, 800 studies. What they found this time, looking at colorectal cancer, was that they found a scientific link between processed meats like bacon, like ham, hot dogs, smoked, salted, cured. They didn't differentiate from one to another, but they found the kind of link that we call cause and effect. Now, they're not saying, Greg, that this cause and effect. They're saying it's increasing your risk by 18%.
Right.
But cigarettes, by example, increases your risk 26 times. So this isn't about processed meats being as bad as smoking. It's about, finally, we think it's a proof. Before, we've said, look, red meat is associated with pancreatic cancer, with prostate cancer, with colorectal cancer, with cancer of the esophagus. We've talked about all that on the show. But for once now, with all of the studies, they found 14 studies, the kind we like, where we look at people in a group, we divide them into two groups, we follow them over time, and it looks like they have shown a cause between eating processed meats, which is meats that you cure in salt, and developing colon cancer.
But here's the thing. I mean, I love steak. I love bacon. I don't eat it all the time, but I eat steak more than I eat bacon. How much is too much? What's moderation? I'm sure it depends on your weight size and size of your body and all that stuff. Or does it? I don't know.
It doesn't. It really doesn't. And look, if you have once a week, the small portion of red meat, it's perfectly fine.
Right.
You burn it. And the reason why it's okay to have that is because it has a lot of linoleic acid. Those are omega-6 fatty acid, which is good for you. It has protein. It has a lot of good things in it. But if you do it all the time, Greg said he loves steak. He loves going out.
Yeah.
If you're going to have bacon for breakfast every day and you're going to add a lot of other things, weekend steaks, etc., that addition is going to increase his risk of colon cancer. This is after the fact that Consumer Reports actually looked at 300 different samples all over U.S., and they looked at the red meat and they found out there's a lot of bacteria, increasing food poisoning. There's a lot of antibiotics in it.